Hey yo, what's good? It's your boy Dre Soul here with some more crypto news and crypto wisdom for your head top. So, the market is still looking crazy. People are still panicking. But you know, one thing I noticed and one thing I learned from being in the markets, being in the stock market since 2012, being in the crypto market since 2016 is that normally when everyone is saying one thing and doing one thing, the opposite usually happens. The market usually does the opposite of what we expect, the opposite of what we want it to do. It never really does what we want it to do, right? So everyone is screaming, yo, the market is crashing, it's bleeding, it's gonna crash some more. That means we might even be at the end of the bleeding. We might even be at the end of all of this turmoil that's going on in the market. So what's next? The markets will be going up. As I was telling y'all, this market is going through a detox. It's a well-needed detox. And even Joe Bessent even said this as well. He mentioned that, the market pretty much needs a detox and we need to flush out what happened prior to 2025 and prior to this administration. Trump said that whatever's happening in the first 6 months, don't blame him for it. He's just pretty much cleaning up shop and fixing things, right? Now, there's been a lot of propped up stimulus in the market during turmoil, and that's usually what causes the market to go up, right? So if you think about like COVID, there was a lot of stimulus that propped the market up, right? So many people are believing that we're going to see some type of stimulus again. Could that happen? Possibly. We don't really know yet. What we do know, though, is that we have the FOMC meeting tomorrow, and that meeting is super important. That meeting is going to determine if rates will be cut. Some people are saying that we won't get a rate cut. Some people are saying that we will get a rate cut, but we won't really know. We never really know, right? So I'm not one to make predictions. I want to, just see what happens, and however it happens, that's how the chips fall, right? But the FOMC meeting is super important. They're talking about cutting quantitative tightening, and quantitative tightening is the reason why there hasn't been much liquidity. Now, liquidity is definitely due to come into the market, and liquidity is usually what causes markets to go up, right? Now, the liquidity that we could be expecting in the market is from the M2 money supply. So we're definitely on par with the M2 money supply, and if we get quantitative easing, which is the opposite of quantitative tightening, that means even more liquidity is going to be entering the market, and the markets love liquidity. But what the markets don't love is uncertainty. And that's the problem right now. Everything is uncertain. The market doesn't know if it's in a bear market. The market doesn't know if it's in a bull market. The market doesn't know if it wants to go sideways, if it wants to go up, if it wants to go down. We need some type of direction. So once we have that certainty as far as the direction is concerned, then we will see price action start to balloon again or go down. It all depends. In my opinion, I don't think the bull run is over. I don't think we've seen the best of the markets yet. The best is yet to come when it comes to these markets for crypto and for stocks alike, right? In my opinion, that's how I see it, right? There is so many things that are positive in regards to the crypto markets. There are so many things that are positive in regards to even the stock markets as well, right? You got the big keynote speech from NVIDIA that's happening, right? AI is like the biggest thing in the world, and blockchain is the second biggest thing in the world right now, right? You got all these government, decision makers and so on and so forth, all these institutions buying up crypto like crazy. Crypto is being bought up left and right. Meanwhile, everyone is panic selling. Everyone is jumping out of the market. Everyone is selling their bags that they pretty much lost money on, right? Now, is it a good thing to take the losses? It all depends. It might be a good time to take losses, and maybe it could be good for, tax harvesting and all that good stuff. Or maybe it could just be good to put something or put some bread into a more stable asset or a more stable coin that you believe will eventually go up or be able to weather this turmoil, because we really don't know when markets are going to turn around, right? once we get that announcement from FOMC, once we get some announcements about quantitative easing, quantitative tightening, interest rates, it might take 60 days for Bitcoin to skyrocket again. It might take 60 days for Ethereum to get where it once was. And we need Ethereum to cross its all-time high in order for altcoins to start exploding again, right? We also need coins like Solana to start creeping back up to the 200s and even to the 300s for us to see other altcoins start skyrocketing and whatnot, right? But like I said, one thing I learned, one thing that I experienced is that whenever everyone's crying about one thing, the opposite usually happens, right? And we can only go down but for so long. The opposite of, us going down is eventually going up, right? And we have so many things playing in our favor, so many indicators. Like I said, we got the M2 money supply, we got all these institutions buying up Bitcoin. Michael Saylor is raising even more money to buy up Bitcoin. And mind you, there's like 60 something millionaire, or I forget the ratio of the millionaires per capita, or for the entire country. But in a nutshell, there isn't enough Bitcoin for every millionaire to have a Bitcoin. There isn't even enough Bitcoin for every millionaire in America alone to have one Bitcoin. So with basic economics, supply and demand is going up, and we have scarcity, meaning that the supply is low. Eventually the prices are going to inflate. It's just basic economics, right? But another thing is the fact that people are starting to realize that Bitcoin is actually digital gold. Bitcoin is that sovereign gold. Bitcoin is like a gift that we got. It's not biased to any government. It's not biased to any company. There's no CEO that owns it. No one owns it. It's like everyone owns it, but no one owns it, right? So everyone can own a piece of Bitcoin, but no one is the owner of Bitcoin. Nobody runs the Bitcoin corporation or company like that. So that's the beauty of Bitcoin, right? And that's what makes Bitcoin stand out amongst all the other cryptocurrencies out there. I read a quote that said, there's tons of precious metals, right? But gold holds more weight, and not physically, but it holds more weight because it has more attributes. There's more that you can do with gold. Not only can you use it for, conducting, for electricity, and for, devices and gadgets and all that. We could also use it for our well-being, right? Because there's gold minerals inside our body, liquid gold or whatever. But that's a whole nother story. But it could also be used as a form of money, which it has been used for thousands and thousands of years, right? So when it comes to Bitcoin, there's tens of thousands of cryptocurrencies, but none of them have the attributes of Bitcoin. None of them are that sovereign, non-biased, peer-to-peer, infrastructure that can't be stopped, right? It's like air. No one can stop air. No one owns air, and no one can control air. So Bitcoin is like equivalent to air in that aspect. Bitcoin is technically indestructible, right? No one can stop it. No government can stop it. And they can talk about how they could ban it, but people are still going to figure out a way to invest in the coins, invest in Bitcoin regardless. So there's nothing that anyone can do about it, right? Nothing in the world. So I'm not panicking. I know it's a tough time. It's a lot of turmoil. It's hard to even look at your portfolio. But the key is to remain solid, continue to do some research, right? Put your efforts in solid coins that you think are going to change the world, and take it out of bullshit coins, right? A lot of people put all their bread into these meme coins, and they're mad because they lost their bread, right? A lot of people put money into a lot of these AI agents and lost their bread. A lot of these coins are just, you get in and you get out. It's a quick move, stick and move. Just like Biggie said, you got to bob and weave, you know what I'm saying? Like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee type shit, But that's how you got to move. That's how you got to operate when it comes to these particular cryptocurrencies. Now, when it comes to more solid coins like your Bitcoins and your Ethereums, you can weather the storm and go through these turmoils and go through these downturns if you want, because eventually they're going to come back up. Whereas a lot of these altcoins, they either don't ever come back or they take a long time to come back, right? But in a nutshell, All I'm saying is that we really have nothing to worry about. It's just patience. All we need is patience. Just a little bit of patience. Patience will get us a long way in this space. Patience will get you a long way. But when that time comes around, again, when the market is exploding, please, and this, I'm even talking to myself right now, not even just the audience, please take those profits. You don't necessarily have to take all the profits, but take some profits. Enjoy some of those profits, pay off some debt, take your family out, go to Disney World, take your girl out, go to the Bahamas, do something, buy a new watch, do whatever, pay off your car or buy a new car, do whatever it is. Enjoy the profits, put it into real estate, put it into some solid ETFs, do something with it, because at some point the market is going to take that back, right? And that's my message for today. It's your boy Dre La Soul. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's your boy Urban Blockchain. We out.